While reading the Sermon on the Mount again recently, I once again ran into these words of Jesus. You therefore must be perfect as your heavenly Father is perfect. I know people who have drowned in legalism over this verse, trying their very hardest to do all the laws of God and yet coming up woefully short. I've also heard some interpreters describe this verse as another example of Jesus using hyperbole to preach. He doesn't actually expect you to be perfect any more than he expects you to actually cut off your hand or actually gouge out your eye. While the legalism view is definitely wrong, and the second view of hyperbole is there's probably something to it. I think there's actually a third option that C.S. Lewis lays out really well in his book Mere Christianity. Some people seem to think Jesus means, unless you are perfect, then I will not help you. And as we cannot be perfect, then if he did mean that, our position is hopeless. But I do not think that he meant that. I think he meant the only help I will give you is help to become perfect. You may want something less, but I will give you nothing less. He goes on to describe how sometimes people want to submit to Jesus in order to handle a couple of more obvious problems in their life, but do not want to actually submit to total transformation. But Jesus is not offering to solve one or two problems for you and then just leave you to your own devices. No, he's after all of you and of me. On the one hand, God's demand for perfection need not discourage you in the least in your present attempts to be good or even in your present failures. Each time you fall, he will pick you up again. And he knows perfectly well that your own efforts are never going to bring you anywhere near perfection. On the other hand, you must realize from the outset that the goal towards which he is beginning to guide you is absolute perfection, and no power in the whole universe except you yourself can prevent him from taking you to that goal. Let me speak to your heart for a second. If you're feeling condemned by the weight of your sin, fall back on the grace of Jesus. It is always there for you. But don't think for a second that Jesus doesn't have a high standard for your transformation. He who began this good work in you will carry it out, and nothing short of your own will stop him from bringing it to completion.
Christian boys!